and welcome to another video. My name is Em, and today I'm going to be showing you how I drew an artichoke. Artichoke is one of my most favorite vegetables in the whole world, just so you know. And I'm using pan pastels, color pencils, pastel pencils, that kind of thing. So first I'm going to block in based on my reference that I'm going to follow. I'm going to do a bit of a block in. So I'm going to this is going to kind of be like painting with the pan pastels. That's how I kind of think about it. Actually, I should retry to do another one in gouache because that might be really fun. And I haven't done gouache in a while and I'm kind of getting scared to get back into it, you know? Anyways, it doesn't matter. We'll try next time. I just sketched out and kind of got the rough lines of where everything was. And then I got set up. I use this paper called Duralar. It's like a really, really smooth, plasticky kind of paper. And it's great for mixing the pan pastels on. You can mix them like they're paint. And I'm taping this to my desk. Didn't have a board at the time to tape it to, so I just taped it to my desk. I don't know. I thought looked good, I guess. So then I'm getting out some colors. This was kind of new to me because I don't usually use the darker colors as much. But I was excited to try. So I started out with the light ones though, because I'm not brave. And just kind of got like a layer of color in. I kind of wanted to sort of do like a little study of what's going on with this light color and figure out where the shadows are, figure out where everything is. And you know how, artichokes have a lot of pink in them as well. So especially this one. So I wanted to get that in there too. And I find starting with a light color when you're doing anything, like markers or color pencils or something like that too, that really helps to get you ready to go. It's kind of like a little understudy. Oh, a little understudy. That's what we should call it. I'm sure there's an actual name for it. Anyways, I've got this like magenta kind of purpley color and I decided to put this in for the shadows. And then I got my olive green. This is like one of my most favorite colors. I love it. And this is kind of how the pan pastels work. I don't know if I've talked about this before, but you can just mix them like that. You sort of just take some of the dust from one of them and some of the dust from the other one and you can make a new color. I don't really know how it works. You can see that they're not even really mixed on I'll call it the palette, the piece of Duralar that I have there. Then they mix when you put them on the page, okay? I'm not an expert. I don't know why it works. It just works. And that's based on something that I saw on the internet. And then I started doing it and I was like, this is great. I love it. So you can just mix the colors like that. So then I still laying in the base color. This kind of takes a while because you have to layer the pan pastels a lot, although I love using them. And it doesn't take a long time. Like this didn't take super long, but for quite a while, I'm sort of more trying to figure out what's going on, like but where all the shadows and where all the highlights and stuff are going to be so that I can have that there. And then I'm going to spray fixative. Unfortunately, I did have to spray it inside inside the room I was in and not take it outside because it was taped to the desk, okay? Calm down. I'm right near a window. It was fine. So now I have that first layer down. And I feel better about where I'm going with it. So I'm going to just take straight in with my olive green color, that dark green that I said I love. I'm going to start using that and blur my eyes and figure out where I can see the sort of darkest parts and start putting those in. And I really like how this ended up looking. I really like the types of shadows that are on this artichoke. I really like doing. So I was super happy to find this reference actually. And hey, guess what? I think I've already done it before as well. There's something wrong with me where I just keep like going back to some of the same references, especially when it's with like veggies and stuff. If you get a good one on Pinterest, you got to keep that sucker. And sometimes you got to do it with, different mediums. It's just fun to try to perfect things, I find. I don't know. I hope that's not boring. I hope this isn't boring. Oh yeah, I got this other pan pastel tool that's like a really long makeup applicator. It actually works super well and I love it. It's really good. It's doing much better than I don't like messing around with those things that go on the tip of the applicators. That annoys me, but sometimes you get the shape of it and that it's good for covering large areas. But this little thing is great for all the little small parts. I was having a hard time getting into certain things just with the size that I like to work at. So that's great. Love that. And you can also mix the pan pastels with color pencils. It works really well with my Holbein pencils. I just usually put some of the color down to like get more of a saturation or maybe a darker color or just a sharper edge. And then I can literally go over top with one of the applicators for the pan pastel and it's fine. Like it blends right in as if it's pastel. I don't know. It just works. I usually do it on top of a layer of the pastel is on there, and then I'll put the pencil on top and I kind of can mix it that way, if that makes sense. But with this paper that I was using, which is meant for pastels, it's a very grainy texture. It's very textured for the purpose of using pastels on them. So when you use color pencil on it, it does like kind of accentuate that grain, which I don't love. So I was happy that I was able to mix in the pastel on top of the pencil to kind of get rid of that and even it out a bit. But yeah, so it's pretty grainy texture. Again, I don't really like understand. Okay, I understand how like why you would need a grainy texture paper and why people like it, but I just don't see any difference in that paper versus just mixed media paper. Or like my Arctic sketchbook has like a very interesting texture where it can hold on to the pastels like it very well, I find. But it's still semi smooth-ish. So you can use other mediums with the pastels too. Like I really like using sort of half and half color pencils. Sometimes I like to use markers in pan pastels, so it's nice to have that option, but you don't really have that option with the pastel paper. That's why I don't use it that much, but it is good for other things. And, I am getting like, I'll definitely get use out of it. So it's not a big deal, but I was just trying it out and seeing what I could do. But I know there's like a sandpaper texture kind of paper that you'd use, and I could see why people who only use pastels would definitely like to use that for sure. And I'm sure people would love this paper too. Just for me, it wasn't really for me. I'm not big on like this type of texture for paper. It kind of bugs me. So, but I do really like how this turned out. And who knows, maybe like they did hold on a lot. It's just that the style that I do the pastels in is that I really just use a lot of fixative anyways. So I do a layer, spray fixative, do another layer. Once I know everything's good and I'm not going to have to erase anything, I just spray the fixative so it holds on. Obviously, you can't do that forever. And if you have very smooth paper like my Royal Talon sketchbook, you probably couldn't. You only have so many layers you can do. But with this one, yeah, I could do a lot. And I figure mixed media paper, you could probably do quite a few as well. So now that I've gotten the shadows and stuff in, I'm just going to get more detail. And this is the kind of stuff I love to mess around with. I really like putting in I like this stage of it. You have everything nailed down. Everything is, it's working. And then you can just do the extra little shadows, the tiny little bits, the little highlights, things like that, the reflected light. That's the kind of stuff I love to mess around with. I'm not saying it's the most perfect artichoke in the world. I was really just doing this as a study and to try out the paper. And I thought it would be fun to do a really big artichoke. And then I decided to take this like neon pink color and kind of do a little bit of an outline here and there, a little bit of a darker color, just kind of experimenting, really. Just wanted to experiment with this artichoke. It's one of the things I really enjoy drawing. And actually veggies in general, veggies and fruit, I really like drawing anyways. So I thought it'd be a good subject. So now I'm going to do a background. And I don't normally do this, but I'm trying to get more into it. I'm obsessed with this pink color for a background, and I thought it would look really good with the green. So I sort of just went for it, and I figured I'll do more after, but let's just get like the pink down. For a background, I like it to be like wishy-washy, have a couple other colors in there. So I'm going to do it mostly without using fixative in between the layers and just sort of add colors on top and thicken. And it'll be a bit of a thicker layer, but it'll probably only be, I think it's like one or two, maybe. layers before I put the final fixative. So the hardest part, I guess, is just getting around the edges, and you don't have to go like right on the edges. That's why I darkened some of them and did that little bit of an outline there with the neon pink, because I just wanted to sort of whatever parts I wanted to keep solid, I wanted to make sure they were there nice and dark. But yeah, it is hard to get into small spots. And then I was like, oh my God, this is going to be so cool. I'm going to like take little pieces and swipe them down and make it all like fading into the background kind of thing, which I love doing. And then I took this satisfying tape pull off, took the tape off and fixated it. Yeah, I sprayed this stupid Sennelier fixative, and then for some reason I wrote my name there, which is so annoying. I don't know why I did that. And then I guess I figured I needed more, which actually this last final touch I do really like, and I'm happy I did, because see how some of those little leaves are even more faded and blending up? I really, really like that last little touch, how that looks. So I'm happy I did go back to it. Maybe I took a couple hours away from it, and then I saw that I wanted to change it a bit. Oh, and then I put a little bit of white there too, because I wanted it to pop a bit more. So I'm liking that, to put it lighter around the object and then have it dark, going in. I think that looks really nice. So I put a little bit of white around the edges there, just kind of finished it up, and I added a touch of blue, and there's like a little bit of yellow pieces in the background as well. I didn't want to go overboard, and I think I kind of did, but again, whatever. It's just a study. It's just for fun. And for those little dark parts that I was swiping, I think I just took some of the blue or a darker color and I wiped my brush off a little bit with paper towel, and then I pressed really hard and kind of swiped it out from where I wanted to blend it up like that. So here's the finished result. I hope you enjoyed it. Sorry it's a short video this week, but I'm super busy making a really good one for next week. Bye!